40 years of developing hockey players from youth to the pros, Minnesota Hockey Camps has a player development program for you. Located in Breezy Point, Minnesota, our professionally coached on-ice development sessions, off-ice speed training, weight room sessions, stick handling sessions, shooting skill sessions are the right program for you. MHC takes great pride in its tradition with developing NHL players like Chris Stewart, Ryan Bugsy Malone, Scotty Hartnell, and TJ Oshie. Our dedicated staff is ready for you. Come check us out at MinnesotaHockeyCamps.com. Sign up for your chance to become the player you've always wanted to be. Hashtag who will be next.
Cold showers, leaking pipes, furnace giving you the chills? Look no further. At Iron Range Plumbing and Heating, we've got you covered. From expert plumbing solutions to HVAC magic and all sheet metal work, we are your one-stop shop for comfort and reliability. Professional service from a team that cares. Say goodbye to household woes and hello to peace of mind. Call Iron Range Plumbing and Heating today and feel the difference.
At Grand Rapids Chevrolet GMC in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, we have the trucks. Over 47 new Silverados and Sierras sitting currently on the lot with more to come. We have all the options: LT, RST, LTZ, High Countries, ZR2s. We have heavy duties. We have Sierra, SLT, Elevations, Denali's. We are equipped for the truck you are looking for. With great rebates currently, with up to $12,500 off on select models, now would be a great time to take advantage of savings and get yourself into a new truck today. Grand Rapids GM in Grand Rapids, Minnesota.
To the Tea with Miss McGill Show, presented by Aero Auto Glass and Supply. Aero Auto provides home services like installing and repairing your windows. Yes, windows. Put the puck through the window. It's Aero Auto. They have those glass doors and those beautiful glass shower doors. Aero Auto offers commercial glass doors. They install them and repair them. So if you've got a business, it's Aero Auto. And of course, Aero Auto is your local source for windshield repairs and replacement with same-day services available. All of their work is warranted, and they accept all insurance companies for your convenience. If it's flat glass, call Aero Auto in downtown Virginia and in downtown Hibbing. It is Puka speaking. It is the star of the show, a very elated and happy Coach Reed Larson. Week 17 behind us, episode 131, and the spectacle in St. Paul has concluded.
Yeah, the season is over, and we are getting through and concluding our last show of the regular season, the weekly show.
Yep.
So this will be the finale of the weekly shows, but you will see us monthly in our interview format. This is how we always wrap up our podcast right after the hockey season, is talk about the state hockey tournament and what the state of Minnesota has that no other state in the United States has with any other sport.
Not even close.
The only comparison that I've ever been able to utilize is Texas football, and it's still not the same.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about a state championship game for one day, where you're going to fill Texas Stadium. You're talking about 4 or 5 days in a row of attendance that maxed out over 140-some thousand people. The craziness that happens in St. Paul, I in my years of watching state tournaments, now being part of 2 of them, have not seen a state tournament like this ever.
Yeah. You mean this specific one, or are you talking
this one?
Oh, this one
in particular. This year, 2026,
the hockey was incredible.
Was epic.
Yeah.
Our Coaches Association are to thank, the Minnesota State High School League are to thank, to finally going to a format where we're seeding all 8 teams, and the parity is there in the sections.
We saw that.
We see the parity. There were teams that were saying, oh, I don't know if I like this. This section's not very good. That section is loaded. There's some sections that are loaded, but there isn't a section that's not good.
No.
I didn't see a game in AA that wasn't competitive.
Yeah.
They all were,
Yeah.
even the quarterfinal games. So, and even in single A hockey, it was
Oh,
good.
oh yeah.
For the most part.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. You got
So-
anything left in the tank after the weekend? I don't. I left half my voice.
I do now. I was on the couch all day Sunday and just relaxing and kind of doing my thing to kind of recuperate and coming down from cloud nine.
All right, we're going to dive into Rapids just a sec here, but before we dive in, a few more subs. Greg Baumgartner, Elisa Marache, David Engstrom Jr., Ashley Marie LaFrance, Christopher Michael Thomas, Jenny Thielander, and the lovely Louette Coulter. So thanks to all of you for subscribing and be just like these fine folks and subscribe to America's fastest growing hockey podcast right now. All right, we'll get into it right away with the Thunderhawks weekend. What was that? Thursday, 1 o'clock, Rosemont, right? Am I remembering right? I saw
Yeah.
so much hockey. Okay, so let's get into that one.
Oh, it was a game from the get-go.
It was epic.
Yeah, and I had a front row seat. Obviously, down at the state tournament is different than during the regular season. We talked about this before. The State High School League, hopefully, with the Coaches Association, are working on changing these. Obviously, during the season, you can have up to 4 coaches on the bench, and once you get to playoffs, they want you to shorten that. And at the Excel Center, they want you to shorten it to have 3 out there. I never really was sure what that was and what the reasoning for that was, but it sounds like the Coaches Association is making a push to whatever it's going to be during the year, it should be all year through there. So maybe in the future, you'll see me on the bench. But my role was actually preparation up to the time that the puck dropped, and during the game, that little tunnel right behind the bench was where I stood the whole time, watching it on the Jumbotron and then making sure that everybody had what they needed in the locker room and in preparation between games with film and whatnot. And I'll tell you, it was epic. The Rosemont game started off with, I think, both teams just kind of getting to feel each other out a little bit, not wanting to make mistakes. You're in front of, I think that night, 17,000 people on Thursday. Yeah, it was day.
Yeah, day.
They tried to get the attendance in the morning up, which is why they moved the number 1 seed to 11.
Get everyone down there?
Yeah, and the 4-5 seed to 1 is why I think they did that, so that the morning session was as well attended as the evening session is. And I think it worked. To the extent that you never seen that many people at a 1 o'clock in the afternoon game on a Thursday as you did this year. So 17,000 people-ish or more at 1. It was back and forth. The crowds were loud. The bands were good. The students were good. But just try not to make mistakes, right? The Thunderhawks started it off right away in the game with a power play. And Andrew Ryla with an epic step out of the corner, short side over the goalie's shoulder, and the Thunderhawks took the first lead of the
The
game.
whole arena was like, he scored that?
Yeah, it was. I couldn't believe it, and I just think this. I don't know. Some people don't like these, but I don't mind them because the celebrations that you see when the sellies when they go across the rink. I don't mind them if it's I want to selly by myself. I don't like I should say this. Let me back up. I don't like them as much if you are doing it alone. I like it when you have a group with you and you're coming down and you're coming to your student section.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yes.
Or I like it when you're coming to your bench.
Yes.
Right? And jumping in there like Warwood was doing, right? I thought the 2 sellies that we had at the XL Energy Center were pretty awesome. You had Andrew Ryla's one-legged hawk. You had Jamison Dewell when he tied the game up. Go fishing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he threw it.
I thought it was fantastic. But at any rate, that first goal kind of got things off. The Thunderhawks got on the board first. Shortly into the second period, I believe it was, they ended up tying the game on us. Then they got a lead late in the game where we were kind of thinking, oh, crap, what's going to happen now? It wasn't much time later that we ended up getting our goalie out of the net. Shot to the net with 28 seconds left and a tip by Jamison Dewell, and we tie it with under 30 seconds left, which again, leave it to the theatrics of what the Thunderhawks do when they go to the state tournament. They did it 2 years ago. They won the game with 1 second left on the clock. They tie the game to bring it to overtime with under 30 seconds left. And again, you got extra time and an encore for the fans to be able to come out with overtime. And
and the energy in the building was at that point.
Don't get me started on what about this or that, or I don't want to get into reffing decisions or not calling things because people get too emotional about opinions on those. I will tell you that there were chances on both sides, right? Thunderhawks had chances in overtime to win it, weren't able to capitalize. There was a face-off after one opportunity that didn't end up going in, and we turned the puck over. There was a rush coming the other way, and
the wrong person had the puck.
Yeah,
got the puck.
Cade Sherman had it on his stick. He comes across and has all the time in the world, and I don't care what goalie has that 100%. Puck coming at him. I don't care if it's Luke Sherlock. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Bryce Francisco from Mormontown, Frank Grimsack. I don't think anybody stops that shot. It was pinned right over his shoulder, and it was heartbreaking for the Thunderhawks to lose it in that situation. But what a story for Rosemont and the Rosemont Moms.
And we spent a little time with the Rosemont Moms before the Rapids game. Had to pay.
1992.
Yeah, 1992
was the last time. And maybe some of those moms were around then.
Yeah, well, and a big win against Edina later in the tournament.
Yeah, they did.
So big for the program.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, just to get there and to get it, get a couple of wins. I mean,
they were in it against Minnetonka too. They lost in overtime to Minnetonka, right? Yeah. So we talk about the games that were such. The theatrics of it, that game with Rapids and Rosemont, overtime. The next night, Rosemont and Edina, overtime. Or not Edina, Minnetonka, overtime. Minnetonka wins, right? And then you got the championship game with Moorhead and Minnetonka, overtime. This is the drama involved in this is outrageous. But the playing in front of that group, that building, that number of people is amazing, and what an experience for all involved. You always want to come into that first game going, we just want to make sure we win the first one so we can play again in the X for 2 more games. And Rosemont earned that opportunity by getting that goal and winning the first one. The Thunderhawks were disappointed, but they were in it. We tried to explain to these guys that you're an overtime goal away from potentially beating Minnetonka or potentially playing in the state championship game or winning a state championship. You were an overtime goal away.
Yep.
And who would have thought that you were going to be in this position when you started the season 4-9?
Yeah. Exactly.
So pretty excited, and then you start looking at the next couple of days. Really, that Friday game, going to Mariucci, the start of the consolation bracket is the hardest game to play in because kids are
come down.
It's in your head that I can't win a championship anymore. Yeah. What is there to play for? And it's our job as a coaching staff to go in and say, you have something to play for. There is only 3 teams that get to win their last game. Exactly. If you win one, you play another one. That's a bonus. Yep. Win the first one. Get out there, and if you win that first one, I guarantee you it'll be easier to get up to play for the second one. You just have to get it. You got to get out of your own head. You have to play with emotion and play like you're going to earn yourself another game for you 13 seniors, and they sure did that against Gentry Academy.
Fell behind early, right?
Did, and that goalie actually stood on his head the entire night. He had 40 some odd saves, like 47 saves. Okay. And he wasn't even the starting goalie. Their starting goalie got hurt in the Minnetonka game and was out the rest of the tournament. So they put their backup in at the end of the Minnetonka game, and he was doing a great job there. He stood on his head against us. We ended up with 4. One of them was an open netter. Okay. Right? So it happened.
And what'd you think of them? They surprised you in any way?
They were surprising. Okay. They surprised. They really were competitive the entire game until we kind of got that third one on them.
Okay.
They ended up scoring another one, but then we popped one in right away.
Okay.
So, they ended up 4-2. The fourth one was an open netter. Verche scored an open net goal there at the end and moved on to the consolation bracket or consolation championship. And we really thought we were going to be playing Andover in that game, and it could have turned into a complete bloodbath after what we had here in January. Not that we wouldn't have wanted to play them. I think it would have been great to play them. But maybe there could have been a lot of issues with that game. And maybe it was good that it was Lakeville South again for us instead of the potential of there being more fights between Ari Lampa and KJ Sauer. But then going into that game, I really think that they scored the first one too, honest. They were 1-0 on us, and then from that point on in the second period, we popped. There was never any panic. We popped 5 in the second period. They scored another one. We popped a sixth one in the third, and it was over. And I would say probably the player of the tournament for the Thunderhawks, I would give to Luke Sherlock, the sophomore goalie. There's other fantastic players.
We'll highlight one in a minute,
Yeah, we're going to talk about Seth Carlson here in a minute. I want to leave the cliffhanger on that one for a second, but Andrew Ryla, Seth Carlson, Luke Sherlock. Luke Sherlock was a huge surprise for us at the end of the year.
Sophomore, by the way.
A sophomore goaltender who, before this even started back in April and May, if you'd asked me in May who was going to be playing for us, it was going to be Carter Casey.
Yeah.
Right? He makes the decision to leave, and he's having a great year up in Medicine Hat, and everybody's wished him well, and we've all kind of thought, well, who's going to play in the nets for us this year? And it was a revolving door with goaltenders, and Luke Sherlock earned it the last few games of the year and really looked like he owned that net the entire tournament.
Oh, impressive, yeah, absolutely.
So
someone said, I was just casually with somebody, well, Rapids, they always got a good sophomore goalie. Was that today, yesterday? I can't remember. Someone said that. It was
could have been.
It's kind of interesting to say that, So,
but yeah, besides the player of the tournament in my mind, that because I think that defense wins championships, and when you can't get there without a goalie, you can't even compete there without a goalie. So that's why I say that he was a huge part of that. Now, on the other side of it, let's talk about the all-tournament team and talk about Seth Carlson, the sole Thunderhawk that made the all-tournament team.
Yeah, and you just saw it as the playoffs went on.
He became a man.
He was like, listen, I'm a senior.
Yeah,
this is it, and it's time to turn on the Jets. So his last 10 games, 12 goals, 8 assists for 20 points. In the playoffs, 4 goals, 5 assists for 9 points. At state, he had 2 goals, 4 assists for 6 points. Obviously, like I said, all tournament team. But way to go, Seth. I mean, that's teams need that. That who's going to be that person, and he definitely was that guy. He might have had another one without the cartwheel non-qual against Roseville.
Well, that could have been something else.
Excuse me.
Yeah, even if it wasn't a goal, it might have been a power play, and it could have been an overtime winner. You just never know. But at any rate, we're not going to live on that one and die on that sword. We're going to talk about Seth Carlson and say that if I had to summarize what kind of player he turned into the last 10 games of the season, I would say the goal that he scored to give us the because the first 2 goals we scored in the consolation game were shorthanded goals.
Oh.
We were on the penalty kill after they were already up 1-0. We scored a shorthanded goal. Seth scored the first one, and he just burned by the guy on the outside. He beat the guy wide like a rented mule, and then went to the net and stuffed it because he blew hard to the net wide. That summarizes how he changed his game throughout the course of the year. No more one-on-one Seth, no more trying to dipsy-doodle and stick handle, using his speed and his power and his shot and driving the net. I'm so proud of that kid. He's got a future ahead of him playing the game. Someone is going to pick him up here in the course of the next couple of weeks, and he's going to be playing in the North American League.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Anything else on Rapids weekend?
No, I talked a lot. Let's talk a little bit more about the single A tournament so that I don't get a jab for being all Rapids.
You're at stage. You just keep going.
Yeah.
All right. We'll move on here, but real quick, a quick word from our friends over at the Rink Sports Bar and Grill, just from the Hockey Hall of Fame over in Eveleth. This is a hockey hub. If you haven't been there, go check the place out. A lot of hockey history in there. Breakfast on the weekends, lunch, dinner specials. that include a Monday Burger Night, Taco Tuesday, Wing Wednesday, the legendary Quad City Fish Fry on Friday, and Prime Rib Saturdays, daily happy hour, and all the breakout rooms. So if you have one of these end of the season banquets coming up, give the Rink Sports Bar and Grill a call. 248-8582. Michelle's who you're looking for over there. RinkSportsBarandGrill.com is another way to catch up with them, but 248-8582 and tell Michelle the Tea with Miss McGill show sent you. All right, so we'll get on to the other team up here from Section 7, Chisholm. Hibbing on the weekend. You had mentioned at the top of the show, you said the single A, things are competitive. They face off, Chisholm Hibbing has the 1 seed, Dodge County the 8 seed. After one period, 0-0.
Yeah.
And then Hibbing ends up exploding for 47 shots. They get to 4-1 win. So then that was Wednesday. So then
I honestly thought that game was going to be 8-rip. I really did.
I think everybody did.
Tipped my hat to Dodge County and how they played. I'm not sure I really care so much about the manager shotgunning a Red Bull behind the bench. I'm not a huge fan of that, just because of what it's portraying. But at any rate, good creativity, style points for it, but iffy to say the least. But yeah, 8. I thought it was going to be close to running time in the third period, if not running time in the third period. I tip my hat to Dodge County and their resiliency to be able to come out and battle against a really, really tough Hibbing team.
Yeah, and it upset Northfield. And Northfield was like a top 10 team out
Yeah.
there. So they pulled the upset. They get there, play good hockey. Goalie had a great game. So anyway, looks at 4-1 win for the Blue Jackets there. Then Friday, a very tough contest against the Matamidi Zephyrs. Thank God Jackson Strukel puts one in just 15 seconds in. Now he had hit, I don't know, last 5 games I've seen that kid probably hit 5 pipes, including against Dodge County. Well, he made, came in, made no mistake about it, about top of the circles and roofed one. Like I said, just 15 seconds in, get a little bit of momentum. Gavin Lamphere really shined in this one, and the Blue Jackets pull off a 4-2 win. They got that late goal by Cole Swanson. They needed that one, that third one, just to kind of to calm things down a little bit. But Matamidi was there.
Yeah, and I got to reiterate what you said about Jackson Strukel. Jackson Strukel was at another level this weekend. He was really, really good. And apparently he's off now. Well, I think he'll be playing tonight in that All-Star game, but off now, going to play some juniors here in Tri-City here the rest of the spring. He proved some things this weekend and turned some heads this weekend at another level. He was really, really high end this weekend.
Yeah, 100%.
Huge kudos to Jackson.
Yeah. And then they move on to the championship, a repeat of the 1994 Blue Jacket Warrior matchup. But despite being outshooting Warroad 47-30, Chisholm Hibbing falls in overtime to Warroad 5-4. We're at Tom Reed's after the Friday Hibbing game. It's Delano Warroad. Delano's up 2-0. Warroad scores 3 goals in 2-3 minutes. I'm up 3-2, and I kept telling everyone's cheering for Warroad. I'm like, guys, I don't want to play Warroad. What do you mean? I said, Delano's number 2. I'm like, yeah, but it's Warroad. Warroad, like, they know how to play hockey.
They own that tournament. Right.
Yeah. And it's like, and that was even with Matamidi. I mean, I think we talked about this in last week's show. It's like Matamidi is there like every year.
Yeah,
it's just another Wednesday, Friday, Saturday for the Zephyrs. But just a couple of notes on that. Cloquet beat Warroad during the year. So, I mean, Cloquet brought, Hibbing to the brink. And then Warroad lost to Delano and Hibbing during the regular season. So 2 big redemption wins for them. And talking with Mark DeCenzo, the ex-Hibbing coach, I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer yet. He probably will be at some point.
I'm pretty sure he is.
He just, I said, what do you think? He said, well, it's so hard to win. He said, any of those top 4 teams could have won. And Jay Hardwick, coach of Warroad, he's been in the championship 4 times. And he finally, including 2 years ago, he's up by 3 goals in the third period. They lose to Matamidi, so he's been there 4 times, and he gets, he gets his win.
He gets his first,
his first
state championship, and he's been there now for how many years? 10-ish?
About that. Huh?
Yeah, I don't know the exact number, but it's if it's not a decade, it's close.
Yeah.
Been there 4 times and finally winning it, and winning Warroad's 5th gold banner. They had 4 before this.
Yep.
right? When you walk into the Gardens Arena there and you see those big banners with the big head on the front of it, and they say state champs. They're kind of like these ones out here. You like the orange ones in the middle. The black are pretty cool, but the orange ones in the middle are the ones you like the most, right? 5 state championships now in Warroad, and you mentioned it. It is really, really hard to win those games. Talk to Bruce Plant about it. Bruce Plant, former Hermantown coach.
St. Thomas
he had like 5 or 6 second places in a row.
Yeah,
in a row. Like, you got to be thinking, oh my gosh, what do I got to do to win one?
Well, Moorhead.
Yeah.
8?
8? Yeah, well, I mean, and it wasn't 8 in a row for Moorhead.
Right.
There were other teams in between that made it. Hermantown was in that championship game like 5 or 6 years in a row.
Yeah.
Back to back to back to back, and they lost every time until they won one.
Right.
So it's difficult to do it. The stars have to align the right way. You have to have a little bit of luck. Look at all the things that happened for them, and also for Moorhead.
Yeah.
Different things that happen.
I kind of took something like, bottom line, it's one game, you got one shot, it's one bounce, and it's what makes it the spectacle, right? It's not a 7-game series. It's like the only major sport that plays one game is the Super Bowl. Is the Super Bowl little or small? No, it's huge because it's one shot. It's one shot, and that's everything. Look at Moorhead coming back from what they did.
Well, it's funny because...
And even Hibbing coming back, but then they ended up falling, but the comeback was there,
Yeah. No, I mean, it's funny because when I got home and wanted to talk about the tournament with my wife, she was going down and watch the tournament because of coaching. She figured I'll just stay home in the comfort of my own couch and watch it from my couch and watch it on the big screen and
take care of the dogs.
She watched all of the games that she could and watched that Hibbing Warroad game, and she said, I was really rooting for Hibbing all the way through. I really wanted Hibbing to win, and then after the win happened and you saw the raw emotion from Warroad, you heard the stories about how Warroad lost their starting goalie during the year. A backup had to step in and play and figure out how to take that role. You see the raw emotion from Mooney Shagaby after he couldn't even compose himself. Anytime someone would talk to him about being a champion, he'd break up crying with tears. And she's like, it was so cute to see how excited he was and how happy he was and how many, just the hug to his dad, who was an assistant coach out on the ice, and just seeing him break down in tears of happiness. It's like there was, you could tell some real sacrifice that went into winning that championship, and I'm sure you would have seen the same thing if Hibbing won too, right?
Sure, yeah.
It's they have won in the past before, and I don't think you ever take for granted winning a state championship. You don't ever assume it's going to happen. But for them,
ask Minnetonka. You're not assuming anything. Even after you're up 3-0 after 1, you're not assuming anything.
For Warroad, just talking to my wife, she just said it was so cool watching that. As much as I was cheering for Hibbing, it was cool to watch that, and you had stories about Jay Hardwick and how he deserved that championship. So did Jammer.
Yeah.
I think Jammer works his butt off.
Yeah.
I think he deserved it too, but I think just listening to some of those stories, she was pretty excited about, wow.
Yeah. Well, I have one stat here real quick. So Chisholm Hibbing, shots on goal in the tourney, 47, 49, 47. That's pretty amazing. But anything else on that one? We'll get to the medal controversy in a little bit here, but anything else on?
No, I don't think so. I think that in particular, if we're talking about championships, maybe we'll touch on that just when you're done with the next part here. Talk a little bit about the AA state championship game.
Yeah. Well, we're moving into. Oh no, we're here. Yeah. Let me do a quick ad read. We'll get into that. All right, pound the thumbs up button right now. Moving on. Support for the show continues from Aspire Heating and Control, your local Bryant dealer, and Bryant is the official heating and cooling company of your Minnesota Wild. Aspire specializes in gas, electric, and hydronic heating and cooling systems for existing and new construction, residential and commercial installations available. Services include forced air systems, boilers, heat pumps, mini splits. They are, of course, licensed and bonded. give Justin a call. We're going to kind of turn it towards air conditioning season here now. So Justin's your guy, 999-5957. Spider Heating Control, 999-5957. So, yeah, we're just going to start this next segment out with just some of your thoughts, highlights. You know, you want to talk about that championship game? Have at her.
Yeah, I just I love the underdog role that Moorhead came into with that game. You know, obviously they're not an underdog because they were rated number 1 throughout the course of the year. But I remember getting text messages during the game, a text thread between my mom and my brother, who were both watching the game as well too. And my mom's like, "Oh wow, Moorhead sure just is struggling right now. You know, it's Minnetonka's really taking it to them. Moorhead just can't find a way to get things to go in." And my brother just chimed in, "Give it time. Don't count them out." And it's like, next thing you know, bang, it's 4-2.
Yeah.
You know, bang, it's 4-3. Tie game. And then just the theatrics of overtime. It's like there was never at any point, I don't think, could you see John Ammerman panic at all on that bench. And I know that's his personality too. Like, he never panics about anything. Everything is so even keel all the time.
He's just kind of.
But he didn't, and neither did his players. I mean, you saw it the whole time. You know, players like Max Cullen and Bergeson and Mickelson. Those guys they never. I don't think they ever felt like they were out of it.
Yeah.
And
No,
watching them come back in that game. My highlight was the AA championship game. Watching that comeback. And I'm a fan of dynasties when I like the dynasty. So you can, once you've won 2 in a row, you can call that a dynasty. It's back to back, I get it, but I mean, it's hard to win 1.
Yeah,
it's even harder to win 2.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened in a long time, and I think that's pretty cool to see that happen. Don't get me started on whether I think should they win a 3rd one. Do you like that dynasty? I don't really want to see that. Because I want to win it.
Yeah, that's right. It's your turn next.
Yeah.
Right. I actually talked to Mickelson's parents when I told you I visited with the Spud's parents.
Okay.
I looked at them. "What's your hockey background?" "Never put on a pair of skates. We moved from Fargo to Barhead when he was 3, and the rest is history." So that's pretty interesting, you know. So
that is very cool.
Because, you know, a lot of good hockey players come from a hockey background, the dad or an uncle or somebody.
Oh, you mean like Cullen?
You know. Yeah, maybe the Cullens. Yeah, you might be talking about the Cullens.
I guess their family is old.
Yeah. And of course, Matt on the bench again, never hurts, huh?
Well, I mean, he wasn't on the bench.
Oh, he
this
wasn't?
time.
Oh, I
No,
thought
Mark, the brother, was on.
That's who it was.
Matt wasn't on
I saw
there
someone
this
jump
year.
on the ice after the little incident with Edina. I just saw the skinny legs and the
Yeah,
skinny build.
no,
And I thought
Matt
that was
definitely, after, Joey went off to go, I think he was at Honeybake before he came back to high school before the season started.
Yeah.
Then he came back and played high school hockey. I think the fact that he wasn't even sure if he was going to come home. I think he was going to stay there, and then, okay, well, that's just going to kind of do his own thing. He's got some NHL commitments that he's got right now, and working and doing some things, and just kind of decided, I'm not going to coach anymore after winning the state championship last year. And Joey came back.
Yeah, Joey came. They all came back.
Yeah,
they
all decided to come back. So it was kind of cool to see that. But no, Mark Cullen, his brother, was out there coaching.
Max's dad.
Yep.
Yeah, Max's dad. Yeah, exactly. So, well, I don't think any of them regret coming back, by the way.
I wouldn't if I were you.
Any other thoughts?
No,
that
was
or
my
anything?
highlight was the championship game. The other part of it was I was in the comfort of watching it on the couch.
Not a bad place.
After riding on the bus with a smile on my face.
Oh, absolutely. Well, just a few I had. The save by the Media goaltender leaving the net, and Cole Swanson goes to top of the circle. He rifled it on the ice, and he dives and chips that one wide. You were in the building when the lights went out, Tonka Gentry, right? Where you must have been down underneath, right? Did they go out underneath?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Mm-mm. No, we were in the locker room down there, but I saw we were watching it on the TV in the locker room. We had a separate coach's locker room where the players were getting ready, and they had it on their TV too, but I don't think they were paying attention. They were just kind of getting ready, and we were in the coach's room watching on the TV in there, and next thing you know, it looks like the lights go out. So I'm watching on the TV right here, and if I peek down this way, I can see down the tunnel out to the visitors bench. The lights are out, and I'm like, oh, this is funny. I'm going to walk out there and look. So, yeah, interesting.
That was interesting. Well, as a matter of fact, then I just heard it happened. Rock Ridge girls playing in the championship game either at UMD or Duluth East or something. They had to delay the game. They couldn't get them back on.
Oh, my
They had to wait
goodness.
a day later and continue.
Someone forget to pay the light bill?
Yeah, I
or
don't know
what?
what's going on here in Minnesota with the
Come
lights
on,
going out.
Leopold, pay the
yeah.
light bill there
Yeah.
at the XL Center. What the heck?
And I haven't been back to stay. Well, I was there one night last week, the Wednesday night Tuesday Maven game, but the whole energy of the weekend and that, everyone talks about Edina, the hatred for Edina, but Friday under the Friday night lights, that morning Edina again. That's what I finally felt it. I finally understand what people are talking about, with the Edina hatred. So
Yeah.
that was finally got real for me. And Coach, you had a prediction last week that you got correct. Single A attendance hits a record, or at least that morning session where they played the third in the championship on Saturday, 10,518 in the building. And then just what me as a hockey guy was just thinking, well, I just think if Cloquet could have got there somehow, and Sartell and Hermantown, you know what I mean?
Get some new teams
just think of the,
Yeah, the
nothing against the other teams, but
Now,
just
the
think
following
of
that new teams bring, sometimes you're going to bring extra fans.
Yeah, the fans and the competitiveness, it would have been, crazy. So
Well, and even Dodge County bringing a large group. That's a big district. So people don't know exactly all the time where Dodge County is. That's like Castle-Manderville.
yeah, like north
Right.
of Rochester.
Yeah,
a little bit,
northeast of Rochester, but they've got successful sports at their
football's
school.
big.
They beat us in the state semifinals.
Oh, is that who?
Yeah, Castle-Manderville.
Okay.
So that is a huge district and lots of students to bring and whatnot. And they had you saw a lot of state tournament sweatshirts there, and you saw football jerseys in the stands. And I was like, oh, I remember that jersey beating us in the state
like that one,
semifinals
yeah.
at US Bank.
All right, smash the like button. Anything else on your thoughts?
Nope.
All right. Fortune Bay Resort Casino. Proud partners of ours. They're up on beautiful Lake Vermilion. They offer 170 rooms and a smoke-free resort, indoor pool, full-service marina, RV park, world-class golf, several dining options, a bar, and of course all the gaming you can handle. Visit fortunebay.com for more details. Plan your trip right now. Check out their Facebook page. They're always running their current promos. You can check them out there. All right, so one of the big themes 2026, some of the controversies. Like I said, we had a little no love lost when Moorhead beat Edina. We had some fists. Did you see that ref fly in on that one? Did you
I
see
did.
that?
I thought the ref maybe got a little too involved.
Okay. Well,
Sorry.
Or that quickly. at
Sorry,
least. He came in
I
hot.
know you're listening, and I get it. I'm not trying to be critical of the referees, but I really don't think it's necessary to skate from the other side of the rink and tackle two guys. I
Full
think he
speed.
probably could have came over there and split it up a little bit lighter than that.
Inexperience, maybe. Not used to doing like an NHL. or
I
junior
don't either that, or you're trying to make a name for yourself.
Okay.
One or the other. In my opinion, it's not. You go in there to try to protect kids. You don't go in there to try to tackle kids. That's just my thought, and be as critical as you want. That I just thought maybe that was a little much. I could be wrong. Maybe he was worried about the safety of somebody, but I would think if you're worried about the safety of someone, you're not going to tackle two guys.
Take it easy. Yeah. You and I have not been able to confirm this, but I've heard that the Minnetonka coach Goldsworthy did not show up for the post-game presser. We don't know if that's true, but that something we heard. But of course, the big news, and I still haven't seen any video of this. If you've got it, put it in the comments. But the Chisholm kids, some smashing medals, some throwing medals. I guess your thoughts. I mean, we'll start with you and see what you're thinking.
You know what? I'm torn a little bit on that because I think it's a lesson of sportsmanship to try and stand there and honor the team that won the championship, that ended up standing on top at end. And I think respecting the medal that you did end up taking home, I think, is a sportsmanship factor. But I'm not going to be too hard on those kids about that. I do think that it doesn't look good. But at the same time, I'm going to say this in defense of those kids, that these are kids, right? And this is the biggest moment of their life up to this point, where it's what they've wanted their entire life. And this disappointment came down in a shocking ending that you really don't have time to prepare for how you're going to respond if it goes that way. Kids can be impulsive with what they do, and that, not to get too scientific, but we are impulsive with some of the things that we do when we're younger, when we have an underdeveloped prefrontal cortex, right?
Health teachers, see?
That's what it is, and I'm not going to tell you, I'm not making excuses for kids. I'm just going to tell you that they're kids, and I get the emotion that they have, and I think instead of being too hard on the choice or the impulse that happened there with those kids, same with the brawl that happened too, I think it's a teachable moment, and I think it's an opportunity for adults and coaches and mentors to revisit and reevaluate the situation, because I think that's how brain development happens for teenagers, right? And I think you look at the experiences you have and you reflect and you think about, if situations similar happen in the future, how would I do things differently? And I think maybe you tell yourself, life is full of disappointments. That's probably the biggest one that you have up to this point in your life, and it's a big one.
Yeah.
But that resiliency you get from going through that experience and coming back from that experience is going to prepare you for some potentially bigger disappointments in life. And I don't want to say that's going to happen to every single one of you, but there are disappointments in life. I can think of some that are a heck of a lot more disappointing than winning in the section final or losing in the section final. Losing to Duluth East and never going to a state tournament when I was in high school, that was pretty disappointing. Oh, yeah. But I'll tell you what's more disappointing is for somebody that finds out that over years of trying to have children, you can't have them. Yeah. Or after maybe somebody gets pregnant and has a miscarriage. That's a huge disappointment.
All right, fellas. You just can't get the hockey itch out of yourself. The college route isn't for you. Community college route isn't for you. The junior hockey route isn't for you. Well, there's still hockey that you can play. Why don't you check out the Jackson Hole Moose out in Jackson Hole, Wyoming? Take a look at these guys. Full crowds, full hockey, packed houses every night. Get a hold of TJ Thomas on Facebook, and he can get you hooked up with what's going on out there in Jackson Hole.
Integral Hockey Twin Ports offers top-of-the-line junior, intermediate, and senior sticks for sale. Integral also repairs shafts, blades, and goalie sticks using their patented process that restores your stick's original performance. Same flex, same kick point. Shaft and blade repairs come with a lifetime warranty at the repair spot, so you can trust your stick to perform game after game. Give Sand a call, 218-940-9089.
Would you like to hear about Zorba's specials? On Mondays, it's Micro Monday. All taps are just $4. Tuesdays, $3 tacos and $4 Dos Equis. Wednesdays, personal pizzas, $8 and domestic taps, $4. Thursdays, we have deals on nachos and $5 Surly taps. We offer trivia on Wednesdays at 6 p.m., bingo on Thursday at 6 p.m., and then karaoke Thursdays at 10 p.m.
Some of these experiences in life prepare you for some that are maybe, I don't want to say a bigger deal, but they kind of are, yeah. Right? It's a teachable moment, and I would say this to people: have a little grace when it comes to some of those situations. Take the opportunity to teach and to help in that situation rather than be so critical in those moments. Teach them the sportsmanship that's necessary, and I get it, they probably should know that sportsmanship, and you'd hope that they did, but it's an impulse sometimes.
Well, I'm going to stop right there, because that's where I come in. Is you talked a lot about kids, adults. The kids learn it from somebody, and
sure.
And I was thinking back, like, where's like a moment I can think of where some adult was a bad sport. Do any of you remember 10 years ago Cam Newman's Super Bowl speech where he was like, bad attitude, barely answered any questions? Go on YouTube and look at 10 years ago the Super Bowl speech, and this is what these kids have been. The kids have been seeing adults. Like, we had our interview in September with Jody Carpenter, when last winter, when the adult went on the ice and they had the teenage refs, and did he push him down or did he punch him? I can't remember,
yeah.
but kids are watching adults. We'd have a lot more coaches lining up and refs lining up if adults acted like adults.
Right.
And if adults acted like adults, kids would see good behavior from adults. And I don't think there's a overabundance of adults acting like adults.
Well,
And I'm not excusing it because I was in this game. I mean,
Yeah.
it's ironic because in '94, Matamita got third, Hibbing got second, Warroad won the game. I have a
Yeah.
second place medal. I
Yeah.
wore the medal. So I didn't like what I saw. And I don't know if I'm making an excuse, but I'm just saying in 2026, what have these kids seen for the last decade? And it's a lot different than what we saw when we were growing up.
Yeah, and that is true, and I would go back and say this isn't new behavior. I saw it 10 years ago. I saw it 10 years ago when I watched the 2016 state tournament, and I saw Wyzetta knock off Eden Prairie, and I saw players like Casey Middlestead take his medal off on TV.
Okay, there you go.
And as soon as he took his medal off, so did every other EP Eden Prairie player, and they sat on the ice and they pouted. This is behavior that is being televised, and they're showing that to people. And again, same situation. This is the most disappointing part of their life. I get all of that, but again, you see it places.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The kids
Right.
learned it somewhere.
Yeah, they
they
learned
didn't
it
come up with
someplace,
themselves.
yeah.
They learned it somewhere.
They do, but I'll end by, and moving on to the next segment, I'll end by saying that I would love to have conversations with some of those players. I'm sure coaches did. I'm sure parents did. I'm sure they talked, and I'd love to help. That's why I do what I do. I like to mentor kids and like to help in situations like this. And if I'd be more apt to, instead of being critical in those moments, to try to help teach.
Yeah, okay. Very good. All right, yeah, so let's move on. Tate Swanson, Chisholm Maybe named the Star Tribune Player of the Year. Congrats, Tate. I only remember one Star Trib Player of the Year. It was in 1993. He was a junior. You may have heard of him, Jamie Langenbrunner.
Ooh,
Heard of that one?
Langenbrunner, I know that one.
Yeah, I remember that one. Okay, and then all the good Mr. Hockey stuff. Bergerson from Moorhead gets Mr. Hockey. The Reed Larson to Mickelson, Moorhead, and like Coach alluded to earlier, congrats to Bryce Francisco from Hermantown getting honored with the Frank Brimsek Award. Hibbing, Chisholm's Mason McDonald, the All Hockey Hair Team champ. What do you call him? A golden doodle? I think he said something
That's
like
funny.
that.
Hey, I'll back you up for a
Right.
second. Yeah, the Star Trib Player of the Year, I think I remember one from back in 2007.
Oh, Whitey?
Patrick White, I
Okay,
think,
so-
was the star. He did not get Mr.
Oh, he
Hockey,
didn't go, but he got
the Star Trib
yeah.
Player.
Yeah,
of the
so
Year.
that
I
one's
think-
a little less publicized sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, so up here anyway, especially
Yeah.
in the cities, you probably hear it. I think Gino Geyer actually might have got
That might be the
might
case,
have got
too.
the Star Trib. Put it in the comments if for you Greenway Raiders. Go Big Green. And a big thanks to my buddy Jesse Babish for this nugget. We said on last week's show, I wonder the last time two Iron Range teams. He was doing some research. He thinks it was 74. Hibbing and Rapids were both there, ironically, the same as 2026.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
very
who won it? Did you guys win 74?
Nope, 75 was the first state
Actually, I
championship
think it
that
was
Rapids won. But if I'm looking at it, there is a 74 third place up there. Rapids took third.
Okay, it was on there. Now that I'm saying, I think it might have been Edina East at that time. You know, so
Could be.
if you know that one, I was so excited about the Iron Range thing, I didn't even look into the championship bracket. If you know that one, throw that in the comments. And Coach, anything to add to Epi 131?
Oh, it's been an epic year.
Yeah, 25, 26
It's been
to a
great-
conclusion.
It's been a great season, and I know we're going to roll through here in a minute and thank our sponsors, but I want to give a personal thank you before we rattle these off here at the end, that this podcast is brought to you by these people that are supportive for us. You know, it takes a little bit of time, especially on Roger's part, to be able to organize all of this stuff. I come here and do, I don't want to say very little preparation, but I can talk at the drop of a hat. So Roger spends a lot of time doing this stuff, and your time is worth something. And our sponsors, we wouldn't be able to do this without you. So I want you to hear your names and your businesses very clearly when we get to that part. A huge thank you.
Yeah, and please support them if you can, because like I said, they've been great to us, and they're great partners, and they love hockey, and that's what it's all about. Like I said, we're sad the season's over, but like I said, we'll get into our interview segment here. We'll have, for the next 6 months, we'll do one a month. We'll get you some guests. We'll keep talking hockey.
Well, I got a foreshadow for one.
Yeah.
There's one foreshadow that I know we're going to get. Hopefully it'll be here in April, maybe at beginning of May. We'll see what we got, but we are going to have at least one member of the coaching staff from the 1976 state championship team from Rapids. There's an induction of that team into the Hall of Fame here at Grand Rapids High School. Members of that, it's going to be a big ordeal, and that's why I'm going to bring Buzz Christensen on here, who was an assistant coach there that year, to Jim Nelson, and there was other coaches there as well. But I'm going to try to see if there's any players around that we can get the two of them on, like we did when we got
the college,
on there
Roy
too.
Smith and gang. Yeah, that was great.
So for sure, that's one that we'll get to.
Okay. All right. Find us everywhere. On X, we're under T McGill. Find us under T with Miss McGill, Instagram, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Facebook, find us, Facebook and YouTube, find us under Goat Sports Media LLC. Don't forget the LLC. And on Rumble, it's Goat Sports, one word. We've got the merch, so get a hold of one of us if and when you're ready to get a t-shirt, cap, or hoodie. And like Coach was alluding to, a big thank you to the greatest partners on earth, Biowabic Family and Virginia Family Dental, Aspire Heating and Control, the Ring Sports Bar and Grill, Aero Auto Glass and Door, Fortune Bay Resort and Casino, Zorbas of Grand Rapids, Iron Range Goalie Academy, Grand Rapids Chevrolet GMC, Minnesota Hockey Camps. Again, it's that time of year, MinnesotaHockeyCamps.com. Get registered for the summer. The Jackson Hole Moose Hockey Club, Iron Range Plumbing and Heating, and Integral Hockey Twin Ports. Like I said, we'll catch you next month for our next show. For Reed Larson, I am Puka. Get out there and be your dream. You're tuned to the Goat Sports Media Audio Network, cleaned by Virginia Family Dental.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. If you liked the show, please leave a review and subscribe. We would appreciate that. It is Puka. Another show from Goat Sports Media that we'd like to tell you about. If you're into dirt track racing, it is that time of year. The One to Go Show covers dirt track racing in the upper Midwest each and every week. Facebook, YouTube, podcast. So find it at all your favorite places. Join Ryan Aho, hockey coach Jeff Krause, and Bert Lehman is break down all the action weekly. Check them out right now.
Goatsports.